Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel General Hospital Official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Rick and Ava have their very first kiss. Ava arrived by Laura's workplace late at night to discuss Laura's testimony in her custody court. She was disappointed to learn that Laura no longer felt she could testify. Laura didn't want to testify against Sunny now that they'd connected over becoming Rocco's grandparents. Ava, dejected, left Laura's office and met Rick at what appeared to be Dex's old residence. Rick advised she rent the place so she would have a fixed residence when the custody hearing started. Rick suggested Ava should live in a place like that, which scared her. Rick reminded the cash-strapped Ava that it was within her price range. He praised her creative sensibility and believed Ava could do wonders with the space. Ava still protested, so Rick reminded her that she needed to live somewhere for Avery's sake. "If you want to live somewhere else and undermine your own case, feel free," Rick remarked, frustrated. Rick gave it to Ava straight. "Sunny has the money and the means to drag on this custody fight until Avery is 18 and she can decide whether she wants anything to do with either of you," he stated. Ava was upset by this candor and began to cry. She did not believe Rick would stand by her until she paid him. Nina told her that Rick was just interested in himself and money. Rick understood what Nina thought of him, but he couldn't understand why Ava was continuously criticizing him when he was only trying to help. Ava ultimately acknowledged that Laura refused to be her character witness. "I feel like I have to fight the entire world just to be a mother to my daughter," she told me with tears. Rick assured Ava that he was on her side before ultimately kissing her. After a make-out session, Ava pulled away, said that she would rent the space, and walked out. Natalia attempted to persuade Sunny to put down his phone at Metro Court, but he insisted that his business never stopped. Brick soon appeared at the door at Sunny's request. Brick was surprised to learn that Sunny had a significant heart issue. Natalia left to inform Christina that Sunny had become preoccupied with business. Brick and Sunny sat down to discuss. Sunny mentioned that he felt twinges in his chest 6 months ago but didn't think much of it. The discomfort has increased in frequency and severity. Sunny went on to tell Brick about the event at the boxing gym and the one that night. Brick felt they needed to address this right immediately and scheduled an appointment for Sunny with a leading cardiologist in Los Angeles. He believed that an out-of-town doctor would protect the 5 families from discovering about Sunny's heart problem. Natalia soon returned, determined to uphold her pledge to take care of Sunny for the night. Alexis finally made it to Charlie's to support Christina on the first night. Jordan joined her at the bar. Christina watched Lucy and Sidwell stroll in while they were talking about the bar incident. Christina wondered who Lucy's date was. Alexis informed her that it was the man who bought Spoon Island. Christina approached the table so that Lucy could introduce her to her new acquaintance. Sidwell ordered a bottle of champagne, sent Christina away, and complimented Lucy on how well she knew everyone in town. Lucy even emailed Laura to arrange a meeting between Sidwell and the mayor. Lucy mentioned that Christina and Alexis were talking to the deputy mayor at the pub. At the bar, Jordan inquired about the man's name. She was astonished to learn that it was Jens Sidwell. Lucy was likewise surprised when Sidwell called and informed her that he had to depart. Jordan had already left by that point. Jordan became Laura's next guest. She couldn't wait to inform her that Lucy was at Charlie's with Jens Sidwell. Laura soon knew he was the man holding Lucky hostage in Africa. "He's just out there going clubbing?" Laura inquired. Jordan suspected Sidwell didn't think the authorities had anything on him. Laura checked, and Sidwell was correct. There were no active warrants for his arrest. Laura noticed Lucy's email and thought it would be fascinating to finally meet Sidwell in person. Laura instantly called Sidwell and scheduled a meeting for the following day. Natalia returned to the bar and informed Charlie that Sunny was busy working on the deception company until an associate named Brick arrived. Jocelyn and Lucas connected over sandwiches in Carly's kitchen. Lucas could see Joss was troubled by something. She told her uncle that she had effectively told the man who killed Dex to bury his tracks. Lucas was taken surprised to learn that Jocelyn felt Cyrus had stabbed her boyfriend. Lucas informed Joss that Lucky and Elizabeth had a notion about Cyrus, but Lucas did not reveal the information right away. However, Jocelyn told Lucas exactly what happened when Anna summoned Cyrus for questioning last week. Lucas became immediately frightened. "So, Cyrus knows you're on him?" he questioned in surprise. Lucas informed Jocelyn that he, Lucky, and Elizabeth believed Cyrus was targeting patients at GH. Jocelyn encouraged Lucas to go see Anna, but he conceded they only had theories and no evidence. Jocelyn promised to uncover a link between Cyrus and the hospital killings. Elizabeth used the first aid supplies in her purse to treat Lucky's damaged face in the PCPD interrogation room. They talked about Cody's and Lucky's poker talents before Liz moved the subject to Cyrus. They saw Felicia and decided to interrogate her about the day Dax was stabbed. She told them the same thing she had told Joss about Cyrus Bell, but couldn't recall anything else. Felicia further stated that Cyrus had been barred from GH. She thought that was the proper decision. Mac and Felicia arrived at the police station to address the Cody matter. Felicia urged Mac to talk to his kid, but Mac questioned if it would be beneficial given that this was his second drunken bar fight in as many months. Felicia reminded Mac that he had a wild side when he was younger. Molly paid Cody a visit in jail and informed her that all Christina wanted was for Cody to pay for the harm he caused. Cody wanted Lucky to pay because he was arrested as a result of the fight. Molly informed Cody that he had thrown the initial punch and Lucky was simply attempting to break up the fight. Mac stopped by, and Molly departed so Mac could punish his son for having another bad night. Cody apologized for disappointing Mac, but Mac remained concerned. "You seem to be trashing every relationship in your life and I want to know why," he replied. Cody mentioned that he continued to drink because a number of things had gone wrong for him recently. He stated that booze didn't help him feel better. It only made him angrier. Cody stated it wasn't about Sasha. It was something else. "It's what I do. Things are good and then I trash them," he said. Mac told Cody that he had a family now, and that they cared. "Our family? We can forgive just about anything. And you can't push us away. We won't let you," she insisted. Next on General Hospital. Curtis and Drew spar. Laura meets with Sidwell. Willow is worried that she has made a mistake. General Hospital spoilers include determined missions, angry warnings, and regrettable confessions. General Hospital teasers and updates hint to determined missions, harsh warnings, and regrettable confessions. Jocelyn Jax is on a mission, Laura Collins gives a stern warning, and Willow Corinthos confesses her regrets. General Hospital spoilers, determined missions Trina Robinson arrives at GH and asks Jocelyn what she is doing there. Jocelyn meets her look and responds, trying to stop a murder. While Trina is there to check on Kai Taylor, who is recovering from a football injury, Jocelyn is completely focused on taking down Cyrus Renault. Lucas Jones has warned his niece against taking matters into her own hands in the hunt for Dex Heller's killer. Jocelyn, like her mother Carly Spencer, is determined to follow her own path. GH spoilers, are there any medical updates? A guest has arrived in Kai's room and they may be dressed as a doctor, while Joss and Trina are only down the hall. Kai looks up, a smile developing across his face, and joyfully asks, "What's the good news, Doc?" He'd best hope it's Lucas or a familiar doctor and not Cyrus, the Grim Reaper. However, there is no reason for a doctor to wear a mask or deliver drugs via N4 if he does not appear to be attached to one. Still, there's a monitor next to his bed. Is this good news, or a hint of trouble? General Hospital spoilers, angry warnings. Anna Devane is waiting in Laura's office when Jen Sidwell comes for the meeting he sought with the mayor. Jordan Ashford had observed him at Charlie's pub and felt the trouble he was causing, most likely due to her conversations with Isaiah Gannon. Laura does not receive the warm greeting that one would anticipate for a guest of honor. Instead, her rage flares as she addresses him directly, offering a cold and harsh response. She states unequivocally, "We don't want you here in Port Charles." GH spoilers, Jens displays his dubious charm. Sidwell will not be leaving the scene anytime soon. With an insincere sneer, he promises Laura and Anna that he is anxious to prove them wrong about him. Miraculously, all of his previous offences and active warrants have vanished, despite Scotland Yard formerly calling him a person of interest, though even that classification has been revoked. Anna, having confronted him personally, understands the danger he represents, whilst Laura simply remembers that he once held her son prisoner in Africa. She isn't persuaded by his stories of atonement any more than she is by Cyrus' false promises. Drew Quartermain has unexpectedly returned to Aurora Media, where he is attempting to present a project. However, Curtis Ashford holds steadfast, taking Drew off guard by plainly stating that whatever method Drew has in mind would not benefit him. Drew's former partner, Michael Corinthos, is currently recuperating in Germany, and it appears Drew is pondering recreating his previous partnership with Curtis. Curtis, on the other hand, is unequivocal in his rejection of Drew's proposal. Drew's expression of disbelief says it all. Curtis won't even accept the concept long enough for Drew to make his case. Spoilers, regretful confessions. Nina Reeves tries to encourage her daughter, who admits she is afraid she has made a huge mistake. Willow is undoubtedly struggling with remorse about the upheaval she has caused, having deceived her husband, who has stayed by her side during her worst days of illness. Is this the point at which Willow truly recognizes her mistakes, understanding that the opportunity to change her ways may have passed? Or is she reconsidering her decision to marry Michael, feeling the weight of sorrow for the life they created together? The crucial question remains, what steps, if any, will she take to deal with this turmoil? General Hospital spoilers, Lulu receives an offer. Lulu Spencer beams as she stands in the Deception Cosmetics office, where she had auditioned for a position. The position is clearly awkward, given that she would be serving as the assistant to her longtime romantic rival, Brooklyn Chase. Nonetheless, Lulu's spirit remains unbroken. She shines with optimism and joyfully asks, "Does that mean I'm hired?" The air is dense with tension, but both ladies are in need, Lulu for a job and Brooklyn for support. Can they reconcile their past disagreements and establish a new path together? Nancy Lee Grahn of General Hospital explains her stroke. Nancy Lee Grahn of General Hospital clarifies her stroke. The actress, best known for her role as Alexis Davis on the popular ABC serial, claims that everything you've seen on social media is fake news. She published screenshots of fan pages implying she had suffered a stroke. Clearly, the rumors are not true. Nancy posted to her Facebook wall, "There are these incredibly obnoxious Facebook fan pages that say General Hospital, Sonny Corinthos, Steve Burton and a sundry other bullshit named character pages using your love for show to get clicks, and I'm pretty sure it's just one or two grifters taking advantage of you. Don't be their clickbait. If anything big occurs, it will be reported on a reputable news channel, or I will notify you." General Hospital's Nancy Lee Grahn is doing okay. Of course, her admirers and following quickly responded. Some even added, "I'm glad you're okay, and I saw this on my newsfeed yesterday that kept saying you were sick. I assumed it wasn't real and didn't bother to comment." Another critic commented, "I watched it but didn't believe it. I'm delighted you're doing well physically, but I hope we all get better mentally soon." There was also this comment, "I saw that, but decided because no other legitimate website reported it, it must be bogus. I did not even open the article. I despise it when people spread false information. It must be frustrating for you folks." So yet, Nancy Lee Grahn has made no further comments on the situation. As new information becomes available, we will provide you with an update. Stay tuned for more. Caitlin McMullen says her goodbyes to Chad Duell on General Hospital. Caitlin McMullen has collaborated with co-star and friend Chad Duell since her debut as Willow Tate on General Hospital in 2018. So when he told her about his choice to leave the soap, she felt a flutter of mixed feelings. On the one hand, I was quite depressed because I thought, wait, I can't even imagine this. I've seen you every single day, or almost every single day, since I started working here, the actress told Soap Opera Digest. I was like, you're my pal, so this is really sad. But then I was like, okay, if this is what he wants, then I'm happy for him. The actor in me was like, oh my gosh, you have to follow your heart. So, on the one hand, I was happy for him, but on the other, I was very sad for myself. Duell has only been gone for a short time, yet his absence is already noticeable. There's definitely been a feeling of "it just feels different," McMullen admits. But honestly, maybe I'm in denial since I still believe he works here. I'm not sure if it's truly hit me yet, as it's only been a few weeks. I'm sure it will strike me eventually. But I also believe that it may be a transient condition. Frank Valentini, GH's executive producer, has stated that there are no plans to recast his role at this time, and Duell has expressed thankfulness that the door was kept open for a future return. I'm not allowing my mind wander to the point where I'll never see him in these halls again, you know what I mean? McMullen stated. I'm just hoping that we'll see him again. Whether he comes back or not, I'm just rooting for him in any capacity, she told me. I think he is super talented and he has every opportunity for success ahead of him. A prisoner receives good news, but the mayor faces a potential threat. Brick is stepping up to protect Sonny's safety in the future, while Laura hears of an alleged threat and Felicia questions Liz's motivations. In Port Charles, Lucas warns Joss against planning anything against Cyrus, which would be a horrible idea. Teasers show Lucas and Jocelyn comparing notes, which is likely how the conversation begins. Felicia asks Liz, "What makes this so important to you?" Was Liz asking about Cyrus sitting by the bedside of lonely patients who later died of heart failure and could have been Digitalis victims? Laura tells someone, "I think it's better if I'm not involved." According to the weekly spoilers, Laura becomes aware of a potential threat, but what could it be? What about Sidwell? Christina tells Alexis, "I'm just going to say this once and get it over with." It's likely that Alexis is again berating her daughter for reopening Charlie's. She needs to let the girl to make her own decisions. Molly tells someone in prison, "I have some good news for you." Was she referring to Cody following his barroom brawl? Perhaps Mac is bailing him out. Ava tells Rick, "You will not stand by me." Is this it? Could she be discussing her legal case? But don't worry, teasers imply that Rick will come through for Ava. Brick tells Sonny, "We gotta make sure a close call never happens again." Hopefully, they're preparing Brick to take over Sonny's organization. However, when a bomb was hidden in Sonny's flat, someone made a huge mistake, and heads should roll. Brick on General Hospital, everything you need to know. Some sports fans may recognize Stephen A. Smith, who plays Brick on General Hospital, as a sports reporter who appears on ESPN2's First Take and conducts his own SiriusXM radio show. However, he is a major GH fan. "I have 4 older sisters, and when we came home from school, all the TVs in the house were on GH, Smith told ESPN Front Row. "Since I wasn't allowed outside until I finished my homework, I watched the soap every day." When Maurice Benard, Sonny, appeared on First Take in 2015, he recognized Smith's interest in the soap and arranged for him to play Brick, the mob's surveillance expert. Despite being a passionate fan, the reporter managed to keep his jitters under control. "Since I have watched the show for so long, I know Sonny and his mannerisms," Smith told me. So the scenario was like speaking with a long-lost buddy. I knew him and how he did things. I imagined all of that, which helped me relax. Smith originally appeared as Brick on March 31 and April 1, 2016, returning to Port Charles in August of the same year. He returned in early February 2017 for another quick visit. Then he made a few more cameos in the fall, assisting Sonny Corinthos in tracking down the odd call from Russia that was part of the storyline in which Patient 6 was revealed to be Jason Morgan resurrected. As a tech expert, he also appeared in 2018 to assist Sonny's father, Mike Corbin, who was suffering from Alzheimer's disease. Brick returned in February 2019 to assist Sonny in locating a missing Dante Falconeri, and again in July to assist in forging records to show that Turkish teen Dev was a distant relative of Sonny's. Brick returned in 2020 to assist Sonny in gathering information on new enemy Cyrus Renault, as well as locating Julian Jerome so Sonny could face him about the bomb that killed Dev. In 2021, Brick assisted Jason and Carly in protecting the firm from Cyrus threats while Sonny was assumed dead. After Jason was shot while rescuing Britt, Brick assisted in transporting the two to a safe place. In March 2022, Sonny requested that Brick work with Damian Spinelli to discover a digital trail for whoever released Cameron and Jocelyn's sex tape. Then Sonny introduced Brick to his new employee, Dex Heller. After Brick complained that Dex was too confident and reckless, Sonny supported him while also asking Brick to investigate his past. In November, Brick met Sunny's new girlfriend, Nina Reeves, who later told Sunny that she had seen Brick and Carly together. Brick told Sunny that he was not having an affair with Carly, but refused to betray her trust by disclosing why she had called him. At the end of the year, Sunny contacted Brick and asked him to look into Pikeman Security Group, as they wanted to collaborate with him. After Dex rescued Sunny from an assassination attempt in a warehouse in the spring of 2023, Brick was summoned to investigate, but he was unable to determine the shooter's true identity or who they were working for, warning Sunny that he had a powerful adversary. So Sunny made sure Brick was present for the actual deal with Pikeman to smuggle explosives through Port Charles, which Dex recorded on camera for Michael Corinthos, who subsequently decided not to use it to harm his father. Brick notified Sunny in October that he had received confirmation that Cyrus was Austin and Mason's supervisor, as he had anticipated. Sunny urged him to look into Cyrus' finances, and Brick liked catching up with Carly afterwards. Jordan Ashford called Brick in January 2024 to request assistance with an off-the-books investigation. He informed Sunny and Ava about the weapon found in her apartment that had been taken from the WSB, and Sunny urged him to increase surveillance on his family to protect them. He then returned to Jordan to inform her that the call she wanted examined originated from a cell tower near Pentonville, and she and Anna concluded that the caller had to be John Brennan. Brick was angry when Sunny questioned his commitment and said that Dex Heller was the rat in his organization. Later, he supplied evidence of Dex's offshore bank account, demonstrating his sketchiness. However, when he later revealed this information to Carly, she realized it was a mistake and rushed to explain the matter to Sunny before he killed Dex. In April, Brick informed Sunny that he had organized for their men to assault John Cates as ordered, but the attack was cut short by someone. When he brought up Dex again, Sunny explained how Michael had paid Dex to take him down, but then changed his mind and had Dex spy on him. He then went over to Jordan's office with flowers, flirting a little. He invited her out to supper but received a call and had to cancel. In August, after Christina Corinthos fell out of a Metro Court window, Jason called Brick, who acknowledged to having someone on surveillance and photos of the incident. Despite reminding Jason that he was not now in Sunny's circle of trust, Brick agreed to send the images along. In January 2025, Brick attended the reopening of Charlie's Pub and congratulated Christina on her new business venture. While waiting for Sunny, he attempted to flirt with Jordan again, but she was there to meet Dr. Isaiah Gannon. But when he was taken away for a medical emergency, Brick quickly took his position and turned on the charm. Brooke Lynn and Harrison Chase appeared to be the perfect couple. Their relationship had grown from a foundation of trust and understanding, and they were now ready to take the next step, creating a family. But fate, as it frequently does, had different intentions. Despite their efforts, months had gone with little sign of progress. Frustration and fear began to permeate their usually joyful household. Chase, ever the optimist, remained hopeful, but Brooke Lynn couldn't help but sense the weight of something unsaid pushing against her heart. Could her history be causing them problems? A visit with Dr. Navarro. The couple sought answers from Dr. Navarro, a well-known physician in Port Charles. She'd witnessed many of the town's citizens at their most vulnerable, and now it was Brooke Lynn and Chase's time to sit across from her, pulses hammering with expectation. During a private visit, Dr. Navarro asked Brooke Lynn a typical question: had she previously been pregnant? The inquiry had struck her like a freight train. After a moment of doubt, she nodded and admitted the truth. She had been pregnant before, as a teenager. The circumstances surrounding it were complicated, tinged with anguish and remorse. Brooke Lynn's pulse raced as she revealed this extremely sensitive information. She hadn't meant to keep it from Chase, but the timing had never seemed right. And now, with so much at stake, she wondered if she had made a mistake in not telling him earlier. The test results. The days that followed were a jumble of tension and excitement. Brooke Lynn kept repeating her talk with Dr. Navarro. Would the doctor protect her privacy, or could a simple statement betray the truth to Chase? When the time came for their follow-up appointment, Brooke Lynn and Chase sat together in Dr. Navarro's office. The doctor began explaining the findings, her tone measured and professional. As she addressed probable explanations for their problems, she made an offhand remark regarding Brooke Lynn's previous pregnancy, referring to it in the context of her medical history. Chase froze. The words hung in the air like an unanswered inquiry. He looked to Brooklyn, his face a mix of surprise and hurt. "Have you been pregnant before?" he asked gently, his voice shaking. A shocking revelation. Brooklyn felt the walls close in around her. She had wanted to find the proper opportunity to tell Chase about her background, but that option had been snatched away from her. She took a big breath and nodded. "Yes," she said, barely above a whisper. "I was young and made a mistake. I didn't tell you because it was a difficult moment in my life and I wasn't ready to discuss it. I didn't want it to alter the way you perceive me." Chase's initial reaction was one of shock, but as the weight of her words fell on him, he began to comprehend the complexities of her feelings. "Brooklyn, I'm not upset because of your past," he said after a pause. "I'm upset because you didn't trust me enough to share this with me. We are supposed to be partners in everything. How can we move forward if we conceal secrets from one another?" A difficult road ahead. The discovery caused a schism between them, which neither was sure how to reconcile. Chase, being the kind soul, wanted to help Brooklyn, but he needed time to comprehend the truth. Brooklyn, meanwhile, was plagued by shame and terror. She was concerned that this secret from her past would destroy the future they were working so hard to create together. Their journey was far from completed. As they worked through their feelings, Brooklyn began to open up about the circumstances of her teenage pregnancy, sharing facts she had never spoken before. It was a painful but essential procedure. Healing and hope. Brooklyn and Chase gradually began to re-establish their trust after the revelation. They recognized that their love was strong enough to weather the difficulties they faced, as long as they were willing to be honest with one another. Meanwhile, the test results shed light on their infertility issues and suggested a course of action. They agreed to investigate their choices together, determined to start the family they both desired. The bigger picture. Brooklyn's story served as a warning that even the most deeply concealed secrets eventually surface. However, it demonstrated that honesty and vulnerability can facilitate healing and progress. Brooklyn and Chase's journey served as a tribute to the strength of love and resilience in Port Charles, where drama and grief are never far away. Whatever problems lied ahead, they were confident they could meet them together. Does Tracy disclose her house rules, deal breakers, and non-negotiables? On the next GH, Tracy lays down the law to Willow. Tracy no longer has to worry about being arrested after agreeing to peacemaker Jason's compromise. Instead, she enforces the law. Tracy must have established conditions for Willow to continue living on Quartermain's land despite her impending divorce from Michael. Does she tell Willow what her deal breakers and non-negotiables are? Is it her first priority to inform Drew that he is not permitted to enter the gatehouse? Because that is exactly what she would do. Nina encourages Willow. Ms. Reeves is presumably trying to convince her daughter to distance herself from Drew's influence, urge her to think for herself, and focus on her family. After all, Drew appears to be in a downward spiral. He is staunchly opposed to Quartermain, and it appears that he wants Willow to rely solely on him. His animosity toward the Quartermains is threatening to destroy his life. Going the extra mile, if Brennan surprises Carly, as the teasers suggest, does this imply what we think? Does he go to the private clinic in Germany where Michael is healing and being treated for his severe burns? Brennan is currently willing to do almost anything for Carly. How will she respond to his abrupt appearance? Checking in previously, in Trina and Kai's journey, Kai was injured during PCU's major bowl game. With him as quarterback, the squad was already winning. Without him, the team collapsed and lost the game. In the hospital, the popular athlete received numerous well wishes and gifts. He also had a visit from Trina. Will Trina be as impressed with Kai's attitude and outlook the second time she sees him? Or has Kai's mood shifted? New opportunity apparently, Lulu receives an appealing offer. Does this have anything to do with the deception position she wants to apply for? Being Brooklyn's assistant does not seem like a good fit for her. So, if this attractive offer is something new, will she seize the opportunity? Will she settle for the job working for a woman she clearly dislikes? Brooklyn and Chase tackled their journey to parenting with optimism and excitement. Their love story was one of forgiveness and progress, overcoming previous faults and finding peace in one another. However, as the months passed without a positive pregnancy test, their excitement turned to fear. Determined to discover answers, they sought the advice of their trusted doctor, who suggested a battery of tests to reveal any underlying problems. Brooklyn felt a mix of hope and dread as these tests led her to confront a long-buried secret from her past, a teenage pregnancy she had never told Chase about. A confession unveiled. Brooklyn was barely out of childhood when she discovered she was pregnant during a summer at camp. The experience had been isolated and terrible, but with the help of her mother, Lois Cerullo, she made the difficult decision to place the baby for adoption. She rarely revisited that chapter of her life, preferring to bury it deep within her mind. However, secrets tend to surface when least expected. During a talk with her mother, Lois gently urged Brooklyn to reveal the truth to Chase. "If he loves you the way I know he does," says Lois, "he'll understand." Brooklyn nodded, but anxiety grabbed her chest. What if Chase could not forgive her for concealing something so important from him? What if the revelation ripped them apart? The results. The pivotal moment occurred during their follow-up session with the doctor. As they sat side by side, the air thick with expectancy, the doctor began to discuss the findings. Brooklyn had no problems getting pregnant. Chase, on the other hand, suffered from a condition that may have a big impact on his fertility. Chase was deeply affected by the discovery. Brooklyn could see the agony in his eyes despite his efforts to stay impassive. He continuously apologized, blaming himself for their problems. "This is on me," he admitted, his voice thick with shame. "I'm the reason we can't have a baby." Brooklyn stretched out to console him, but she knew it was time to reveal her secret. "Chase," she began, her voice wavering, "there's something I need to tell you." The fallout. Chase listened silently as Brooklyn related her adolescent pregnancy story. His initial reaction was shock, but as the weight of her words settled, he felt hurt and betrayed. "Did you keep this from me?" he inquired, his voice full of disbelief and grief. "We are meant to be partners, Brooklyn. How could you not have told me anything so important?" Brooklyn struggled to explain, tears running down her cheeks. "I was afraid, Chase. I wasn't sure how to tell you. It was a portion of my life I wanted to forget, but now I realize how foolish I was to conceal it from you." The atmosphere felt cooler following her confession. Chase reassured her that he did not judge her for her history, but their confidence had been shattered. The shadow of Gio. The mystery surrounding the child Brooklyn had given up for adoption complicated their predicament even more. There had been speculation that a young man called Gio Palmieri was the baby she had once born, but Brooklyn had no confirmation. Chase couldn't help but feel jealous and insecure at the prospect of Brooklyn having a kid with someone else. It was not rational, but emotions are rarely so. He began to worry if her shaky link to Gio could eclipse their own relationship. A decision point. The difficulties with fertility, the revelation of Brooklyn's past, and the unanswered concerns regarding Gio formed a perfect storm that threatened to rip them apart. Chase, who had always been a source of support and strength, began to wonder if their love could weather so many obstacles. Brooklyn was ready to battle for their love. She sought advice from her family, relying on her mother for direction and support. "Relationships aren't easy," Lois told her. "But if you truly love him, you'll find a way to make this work." A choice to make. As the weeks passed, Brooklyn and Chase began to have painful but essential conversations. They talked about their concerns, hopes, and dedication to each other. They gradually began to repair the previously damaged trust. They also looked into alternative parenting options, such as fertility treatments and adoption. Throughout it all, they realized that their journey was more than just producing a kid, it was about deepening their love and finding joy in the life they were creating together. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.